Welcome back. I'm back with a pair today that I'm super happy with. It's a pair of New Balance and I just think they've got everything right for me. I just love the colourway, love it all. So today I want to talk about this pair here, which is a New Balance 991 V2 in the After Midnight colourway. So I want to talk through all the things I love about it really, the size, the fit, the colourway, the materials, and why I would recommend this is a pair that you pick up if you get the opportunity. So lock in and I'll give you all the details that you need to know. So let me run through a little bit of the reasons why I picked this pair up, and I'll talk through the details as the video progresses. The first thing is that I've recently got into New Balance. Only the last couple, 2 or 3 years, I've been really buying more New Balance. I never touched them before that, didn't grow up with New Balance at all. I started with a 991 because it's the model that I like the look of the most, and I've experimented with different models over the years. I have settled on a 991 and they are the only pairs that I have. You can see behind me, those are 991s and a pair of V2s as well. Recently, New Balance brought out an updated model of the 991 because that has been around since the early 2000s, and they brought out this pair called the 991 V2, which is a slightly modified shape and different construction. At first, I wasn't sure about this as a model. I really was stuck on, I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I was stuck on the 991. Really happy with them, they're comfortable, and I like the way they look. Since I bought the Patta pair, and I bought 2 or 3 pairs of 991 V2s, and you have to give things time. The Patta pair that I've bought, I have a video of, which is the Patta 991 V2 in the CMOS colourway. This pair here is super comfortable, and I've been commuting to work recently and wearing these, and before these I would say Adidas Torsion ZX8000s are my most comfortable shoe, but that is like walking on a cloud. I really think it's so comfortable, so I thought to myself, rather than beat that pair up and wear them out because I really like them, I'd like to explore and see if there are more 991 V2s that I could purchase. So I saw this pair online and I just immediately loved the colourway. I'd seen them before, but for some reason they hadn't clicked. It is worth saying I bought a couple of pairs of 991 V2s that I haven't liked. I bought a kind of pink pair, I have a review, and I also had the Stone Island pair, and they weren't particularly comfortable, didn't like the materials, just didn't get on with them. So I got rid of those 2 pairs. So I thought it was a model that wasn't for me, but really it's all about the colourway, I think, and the materials, and this pair ticks both those boxes. So let me talk about some of the features on this trainer that I really love. Firstly, one of the things to talk about is, I think, the fact that these are made in England. If you know already, there are certain models that are made in England by New Balance, and I think it's a 991, the 1500, and then there are made in USA pairs, and stereotypically you would assume that those pairs are really well constructed because the factories, you know, have certain standards and whatnot, although if I'm honest, who really knows? So for retail, the 991 V2 is £220, which I think is about 250, maybe a bit more dollars, and that is a really high retail price. But the materials are premium. Often they come with pigskin suede and really premium plush materials. This pair here is £220, and I saw a pair go for 189, 15% off. I didn't snap them up, and then I was lucky to find a pair on a UK website that had gone into sale for £165, and there aren't many UK 11s around, so I snapped them up and just feel like it was meant to be. So I'm super happy that I got this pair that I would have paid full price for probably, but for less than that. I got them with 25% off. So let me show you some of the details you need to know. First up, we have the box, but in terms of the colourway, it just says blue and brown. I've seen colour codes talking about sepia. They are called After Midnight. So, but effectively what you have is a beautiful suede in navy blue. Then you have like what I would call a kind of a taupe sections, and then you have kind of a bronzy brown colourway which you can see variously around the shoe, on the heel counter, on the stitching, on the absorb insert, and on the tongue where it's stitched in nicely as well. There are so many features that I think make this shoe feel premium. I think ultimately the most premium material is the suede, really thick, beautiful suede that surrounds the upper. And then you also have, which I really like, you have lots of elements that are stitched, like the New Balance logo on the tongue, the V1 at the rear on the heel, the 991 on this panel here. I just like that level of craftsmanship. I don't like when it's a kind of imprinted logo on there. I just think that's a nicer touch, a bit more old school, and I am an old school dude. You have hits of 3M on the N logo and also on the panel there, and underneath you have the usual absorb fuel cell technology, which is super comfortable, as I've said before. So I just like this colorway because I feel like you can wear it in so many different applications. I can see myself wearing this sort of semi-casually. I could probably get away with these at work on a mufti day. I could wear these around family and you wouldn't feel like you were flexing. And they're super comfortable, they're on trend. There are just so many aspects of this that I have kind of fallen in love with. And it's crazy to me that I was looking for reviews on YouTube, I couldn't find any. Like, I think the 991V2 is just that model for me. It ticks a lot of boxes, a kind of bit of a older guy, older OG, dad, all that good stuff. New Balance sort of hits that spot. It also comes with 2 pairs of laces, which are this kind of taupe brown colour, I would say, and a straight navy. And I actually have put them both in, and I don't know which pair I prefer, if I'm honest. Some instances I think this is much more interesting, gives a bit more of a pop, whereas this is a bit more muted. I think probably what I would wear more often, but I don't know, I'll work it out. But it comes with another pair of laces, so that's something I think one of the features of New Balance that I think is really interesting, coming from someone who has spent a lifetime buying Nike, all brands really, but I suppose Nike predominantly, is that you can have a pair like this, because it's made in England with this model. It actually makes no difference really whether it's a collab or if it's made in England, because the materials are so elevated on their normal production pairs that when you get a collab, it's not particularly a step up. So what you'll find is that certain GR colorways will just fly off the shelves because people know they're getting the quality and they don't need a particular collab, and I don't think they're made in huge Nike equivalent quantities. So a pair like this, when you find a pair, actually it can be quite tricky to get these pairs because they can completely sell out. There was a black London Marathon pair that sold out, and there was like a vintage sport pair which is kind of white with a red and a blue hit, and they just flew off as well. They just really, I think, understand the consumer really well, New Balance. So even things like, and I know it's going to sound like a petty point, but even the way that this sort of area of the toe covers the big toe, that is a feature in my understanding of like older running trainers. They have that kind of extra bit, so if your big toe pops up, it doesn't poke through there. So they have elements of an old school runner that perhaps don't even need to be there. They're just aesthetic at this point, because this is a lifestyle trainer. I don't think it's for running at this point, but it has a comfort and the modern technology that you would want. And I just think that combination of the old school aesthetic and the classic aesthetic with modern technology is just a winner. It's a pair I would super recommend. I think they're great. I definitely think, don't mind me just having my cup of tea. It's a pair I would definitely recommend. I'm so happy with them. I know that it's a pair I'm going to wear a lot and really beat up. And actually, the 991V2, I think with the right colorway, is one of my favourite models at the moment. There are a couple of pairs coming out that I think are worth looking out for. In fact, they're already out, one pair, and they're sitting in America, which to me is crazy, but everyone's different and it's all good. But the Salehi Bembury Colour Be the Palette, that purple pair, they're already out in the US and they're sitting on the New Balance website. I think it'll be a different story over here. I think when they're released, they'll fly off. I certainly am gonna, well, hardly ever do, but I'm gonna pay $220 if I need to get that pair, because I think they're such a good colourway. There's also a pastel pack that is coming out soon as well in green and blue, and I really fancy the green pair. I think they're really well put together. They remind me a bit of the A6 Gel Respector Cocas, and I have that pair, but I like an all green pair, so I'm going to try and go for those as well. Other things you need to know, sizing wise, go true to size. I go for a UK 11 in my New Balance 991V2s. I go for 11 in the 991s. It does depend on the New Balance model and which size you go for, so where you can, if you've never bought before, I would just buy a GR pair off online and try the size and then send them back, and then when you're ready to get the pair that you particularly want, you know exactly what you're looking for, you don't have to worry about it. So I go true to size, which is the same as pretty much my Nike size and most of my trainers. So let me know what you think. Is this a pair that you've got your eye on? Are you a New Balance guy? Are you thinking of straying from Nike and Reebok and Adidas, or are you like me, kind of late to the party and only realising now how great some pairs of New Balance have been? I was always put off by the logo, just seemed odd to me to have that N on the side, and I got my quality from Diadora, but the Diodoras for my taste have kind of died off, so I'm going to be all in. Do I need 5, 6, 7 pairs? I don't, not anymore. I'm not going to be that guy anymore who gets into model and just buys every colour that he can, but I would definitely recommend them, and let me know what your thoughts and feelings are too. So as always, I appreciate every single view, every single comment. I appreciate all the interactions. It's really what I do it for. If you haven't already, please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please share it with a friend. Please subscribe, even better. I will see you on the next one. Peace.